So, something I've heard about recently is the Bechdel test. It's either Bechdel or Bechdel. I don't know. I don't really care. How it's pronounced isn't important. Um, uh, According to Wikipedia, the Bechdel test asks if a work of fiction features at least two women who talk to each other about something other than a man. And the point of this test is to try to figure out if there's gender bias or if a movie is sexist in any way or whatever, something like that. It basically has more to do with like creating movies or establishing if a movie is more politically correct or whatever. And in my opinion, I don't think this is a very good test to determine if a movie is biased or sexist towards women. I just don't think it is. It just seems kind of stupid to me. It just doesn't make any sense. So I mean, because it seems a little arbitrary as well. Like, because a movie doesn't have two women characters that talk about it just seems silly to me. It's stupid. You know. And I think if something like this gets taken too seriously, then we're just going to end up writing off all movies that don't fit this arbitrary standard. And it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And the same could be said the other way around. What about movies that have too many women and black male representation? So you're just not going to make everybody happy with this. It's just dumb. It doesn't make any sense. I think if you're trying to make stories or movies from the perspective of making them politically correct, I just don't think you're going to make a very interesting story or plot. I feel like you're just going to have a story with a bunch of bland characters, and the only thing interesting about the characters is like oh, this one character is gay, oh, this one character is black, oh, this is the lesbian couple, and it's like, no, this isn't how movies should be made. It should be made from a perspective of just making stories that are interesting, that that make good movies. I just don't know what else to say. I just don't think this is a good standard to determine if a movie is like sexist or whatever, And I think there are some plots where where based on the way the plot is, you're just not going to see a lot of women. I think a good example for this is Saving Private Ryan, for example. And if you ever watch the movie, just try thinking, like, how could they place more women characters in here? Place them in a way where, like, in a way that feminists would be happy. I mean, I think you probably could insert more female characters in, but it would be like more like a love interest or something. And of course, you can't have women in movies portrayed as love interests. That just pisses off the feminists. They don't like that. So it just seems kind of dumb, Like, you're gonna just say, oh, well, this movie's sexist for this fucking arbitrary ass reason, even though the plot of the story would have had like nothing to do with women, So I feel like this is one of those things where it's like, the only reason why this is really an issue is because we're just stupid, like all of us as a society. I'm starting to notice that more and more with things that, like, the only reason why this is an issue is because we're stupid, I mean, when you really break it down into its simplest form, So, isn't this kind of like back in, like, what, the 70s or something, when black people were complaining about not being represented properly in movies, which they probably had a better point back then than now, because there are a lot of movies now where you'll have women as like the main character, but of course feminists it still pisses off feminists because maybe that main character is sexualized, or maybe because they're the only female character or something like that, which is just dumb. You just want to create all these politically correct movies that have like sucky stories and that fucking no one wants to watch. So that's all I really have to say about that. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe. So I only have 21 subscribers. So yeah.